everyone, Nyanstar here, and who am I? Today we're going to be talking about my two main OCs, Nyanstar and Mariah. I have a lot of other OCs, but I'm not ready to show them off yet, so I'll just be explaining these two. I'll go into how I designed them and their origins, and then I'll describe their personalities. When I was pretty young, my sister gave me the nickname Nyanstar. I wanted a nickname, so she just mashed two words together. I don't remember exactly how old I was, because I've been using the name for so long. Years later, when I was around 9 or 10, I came up with a design for myself. I liked drawing avatars / self-insert OCs throughout my childhood, but I really liked this one. Since Nyanstar was my nickname, I started calling this OC Nyanstar. Since I was just drawing her in my notebooks, she was largely uncolored, except for the light blue ends of her hair. In middle school, when I started drawing her in more color, I gave her a red dress, because my gifted teacher said I looked good in red. I don't know when exactly I started drawing her in a blue dress, but she was wearing blue when I drew her for my videos for the first time. Sometimes I even draw her in pink. I also drew a cat version of her because I thought it was cute. For years, Nyanstar was the only self-insert OC I used, until the 8th grade dance. On May 18th, 2018, all the 8th graders went to a school dance. I got my sister to style my hair for me. She left the front of my hair alone, but she tied the back into pigtails. And while I was at the dance, I felt like a totally different person. I felt so much freer. While the song Havana was playing, I thought, hey, maybe I should make a character based off myself right now. I decided to name her Mariah, because I wanted the name to begin with M like my real name, Melody. And I was listening to Hamilton a lot at the time, and it has a woman named Mariah Reynolds in it. And while her name is spelled like Maria, it's pronounced Mariah in the musical, and I liked the name. I also spelled Mariah like Maria at first, but I thought it was simpler to spell it like it usually is, and it had the same number of letters as Melody. I also had the urge to wield a bat that night, so the song Panda Hero got stuck in my head, and I added a bat into her character design. Despite being a more upbeat delinquent when I first pictured her, I drew her with a more bored expression at first. I also drew her in a blue dress. It wasn't until a month later when, according to my messages, I watched Darkiplier and Antisepticeye again, and I had the idea that Mariah could be my alter ego, or at least Nyanstar's opposite. Although a month later I drew Mariah coming out of a mirror and strangling me. Unfortunately, I don't have a ton of documentation of me workshopping Mariah's design. I eventually decided to make her a goth, since half my wardrobe is pastel and half is black. I also gave her a more gothic Lolita dress, since I adore Lolita fashion. Recently I've been drawing her with curlier hair, since my hair in real life is in between curly and wavy. I just drew her with straight hair because it was easier. I like the idea of Mariah looking more like me, unlike Nyanstar. I also never colored in their skin until late 2021, since I hated coloring in skin with colored pencils, and I was used to just leaving them blank. Now let's go into their personalities, or at least as much as I can without giving away any future plots they may be in. Since Nyanstar and Mariah are based on myself, I gave them parts of my personality and made them more extreme. Nyanstar is a dreamer, head in the clouds most of the time. She's the creative side and tries to be nice to everyone. But instead of dealing with her issues, she pretends they don't exist. She suppresses herself to be as close to her picture of perfection as she can. Mariah is vengeful. After a traumatic childhood, she's full of pent-up rage. She has little patience for people, but she's nice to children. Meanwhile, Nyanstar finds being around children too awkward and avoids them. She deals with her issues by drowning in them. She doesn't want to get better. She just wants to stew in her trauma and anger, because she believes that's what she deserves. Although she's also the one more likely to seek help for her issues, since she knows she has a problem, unlike Miss La La Land over there. So basically, they're suppression and depression. Of course, I'm a more complex blend of all these traits, and none of them are this extreme. It's just that if you remove one, the other side gets more aggressive. Nyanstar and Mariah hate each other. Nyanstar thinks Mariah is a parasite, just a real black hole of a person. She believes Mariah is a problem, and she would be perfect if Mariah wasn't around. Mariah thinks Nyanstar is a delusional backstabber. She believes that Nyanstar's kindness is a weakness that only leads to them getting hurt. She doesn't understand why Nyanstar soured on her, and it makes her more angsty. Despite hating each other, they kinda need each other to function. They're like a toxic codependency. And yes, I'm in a toxic relationship with myself. Can you really say you don't feel the same? Now here's some memes that sum them up well. For music, I'd say Evelyn describes their dynamic pretty well. Dear Doppelganger by Kemu is also good. Mariah has over 400 songs in her playlist, so I'll try to narrow some down for the sake of simplicity. There's Corpse Attack by Utsupi, specifically the War of Fuzake album version. Mary Bad End and Revenge Syndrome by Mafu Mafu, which my sister showed me just recently. Karma by Circus P and Creep P. Mind Brand by Muredu. Monster by Kira, Desolation of Spring by Inaba Kumori, Stone Cold by Rabbit Junk, Blue by Birthday Massacre, Insects by Oingo Boingo, Ms. Hyde by Hailstorm, Die in a Fire by The Living Tombstone, and Echo by Crusher P. And that was the heavily shortened list. Nyanstar's list is much shorter. We have Viva Happy by Mitchie M, and Apple.com by Pinocchio P. Yeah, I haven't been tracking her songs as diligently as Mariah's, since most of the music I listen to fits her vibe more. I feel like developing Nyanstar and Mariah as characters has been almost therapeutic for me. I love writing them and drawing them over and over again. Although I feel like since Mariah is allowed to feel her emotions more, she has more depth, and I tend to draw her way more, and I wish I got more fan art of her. I've been thinking of updating their designs, but I definitely don't want to draw all these damn avatars again. Regardless, I love my fictional Blorbos. I've done 3 short animations with them, so if you'd like to see more of these 2, you can watch those. I really want to make more animations for them. Thanks for watching, and remember to stay creative. Bye!